And right now joining us this morning is Rabbi Josh Dorsch with the congregation Tifereth Israel in San Diego. We're so glad you have made the time to be with us this morning. You have services this morning coming up probably right after you leave here.
Right after.
What words of comfort will you have to offer to your congregation that you can extend to all of us this morning as we grieve this just horrific tragedy?
You know, it's a terrific question. It's a horrific tragedy. There's no way around it. And there's little comfort that could be offered in the light of something that's so terrible and so tragic. And in my experience, and unfortunately we have too much experience dealing and coping with tragedies of this nature, we have to be there for one another. We have to hold each other in support. We have to give one another hugs and say that we're not going to let this destroy us. We're not going to let this stop us. And we're going to keep doing what we're doing.
When this first happened, just knowing that 6 months ago there was an incident in Pittsburgh, how do you even begin to process that as a leader of your congregation?
Yeah, you know, these are incredibly scary times we live in. When we found out the news about what was happening yesterday in Poway, we were in the middle of our services ourselves. And you know, we were told that we should secure the perimeter of our building. We had children and parents outside in the playground playing, and we go into panic. And it's important for us to stay calm and to recognize that first, San Diego Police Department was amazing, right? They came very, very quickly to help us, to inform us, to ensure that we were safe. And as soon as we found out we were not in immediate danger ourselves, our congregation and our community, you know, we just had to sit there and really grapple with the realities of the world we live in. The first and foremost concern, I think, on anybody's mind in the wake of an attack like this is security. And ensuring our congregation, our community members, the security is of our utmost concern and utmost importance for all of our members and for our community. And we took additional measures after Pittsburgh, and now 6 months later, this is the second attack on a Jewish institution in 2 months. We are going to further investigate our security just to ensure that everybody who walks in our building is safe.
Is this just the reality that we are faced with now, that all houses of worship, particularly Jewish synagogues and temples, will have to have security? Obviously, we know there was an off-duty Border Patrol agent who was there working as a private security guard at yesterday's services at Chabad of Poway. Is that just, that is what we have to do at all houses of worship from now on?
So I can't speak for all houses of worship, but I think every house of worship is going to have to make their own decisions about security. What I will say is that for our synagogue at Tifereth Israel, yes, we now have armed security guards, and I think that's the new reality of the world we live in. And it's hard. It's hard on the synagogues, it's hard on the community for a variety of reasons. You know, we try and pride ourselves as being as open and as welcoming as we can be to all, to everybody of all faiths, of all backgrounds. Come in and join us. And nothing says come and join us like being searched at the door when you have to walk in the building. But again, safety and security are of our utmost concern. We have school with 100 children, another school with 130, 140 children. And for parents and for the children, we need to make sure that they're safe.
Yeah. And lastly, very quickly, I think some of the good that we have seen, the vigil from last night showed people of all faiths coming together. Is that comforting to you, even in a small
It's incredibly
matter?
comforting to know that we're not alone. But it's a wake-up call of the reality of the world that we live in right now. It seems almost every other month, every other week, there's a vigil, a get-together to mourn a tragedy along these kinds of lines. Thoughts, prayers, words are really kind and really comforting, but thoughts and prayers are simply not enough. If this is the new norm, this is the new status quo, something has to change.
Rabbi Josh Dorsch from Tifereth Israel, your services this morning will be a very active defiance just by holding them. So we're grateful that you could make the time to be with us this morning before you go and be with your congregation.
We appreciate that too. Our school is also open. We're going forward with all our scheduled activities.
Excellent.
Thank
Glad
you
to hear
so
that.
much.
Thank you.